There's something very special I want to just share with you. This was, if you have this out there, there's a number of them on the tables. You can just take a look. Obviously, this is a picture of Daniella and her baby, Gabriel. On the other side is a picture of the couple, her husband and Daniella and the baby. And her mother found a handwritten note in her purse when she was, going through her stuff after she had passed away, and they were, cleaning up and packing things away. And her mother found these two little handwritten pieces of paper in her purse, and she wanted to publicize it. She wanted to publicize it just again to highlight the type of person Daniella was, the deep thinking, motivated person that she was, and also to help other people, to give other people inspiration. And like I said, that it shouldn't come to a tragedy, Chalila, for a person to really think about who they are and what they are doing in life. Her handwriting is a little bit, not so clear, so we had it, typed over into, clear typing. And this is what these 2 pages say. Page number 1 was my 5 rules to happiness. This is what was, her hashkafa, her approach to life, how she thought about life, and her avodas Hashem. Number 1, everything ends up how Hashem wanted it to be, for my best. When a person contemplates that, a person thinks about that and realizes that Hashem is literally carrying them through life. Hashem is the one guiding everything, and even things that seem like difficulties or mistakes or problems, right? It's Hashem who's carrying me through this and putting me exactly where I need to be for my best, for what I need in order to go on and become who I need to be. Number 2, every situation has things to learn from and certain positive qualities. She was a type of person that lived by this. Like I said, she was extremely kind and extremely warm and would really think about others, right? Not just like in some shallow way, but she thought about other people. She thought about what their qualities were, what can we learn from this person, and experiences in life. Not all of our experiences are positive from the way it looks. Not all of our experiences are things that we would choose. However, there's something to learn from everything that happens. Every person, every event, every situation that a person goes through, there's something there for me. Hashem is putting me with this person or putting me in this situation in order for me to gain and learn. Number 3, remember, Bishvili Nivra Ha'olam. We spoke about this way back, months ago when we were here talking about October 7th, this hashkafa that a person has to have and understand and live their life in such a way that we appreciate that everything that's happening, everything that's going on in the world, it's for me. Bishvili Nivra Ha'olam. I have a job, I have a mission to do, I have a way that I have the ability to affect the world, and with that perspective, it's all happening for me. Hashem is setting things up for me to learn from, for me to be involved, to give me opportunities in order to help other people and even help and impact the world. Number 4, don't expect things from others. A person can go through life being very disappointed when they're expecting other people to do things for them or get things for them, and then that doesn't end up happening. It's great when people help. It's great when people can support us. But to go through life without expecting that, relying on it, depending on it, it's a very healthy way to live, very self-sufficient, healthy way to be there for other people as much as I can be, but not to expect it in return. Not to feel like it's a quid pro quo, like it's a business deal that, well, I help so many people, so I expect that the world should help me back. No, that's not how it works. And the more we rely and expect things from others, the more we end up disappointed in life. And number 5, which really ties into all of the previous ones, try to comprehend some degree of the reasons behind things in your life. Again, with that perspective, nothing is random, nothing is just happenstance. Whatever is happening in the world, and to me, there's a reason behind it, there's a cheshbon behind it, Hashem knows what He's doing, and to live with that appreciation and understanding, again, it gives a person a very deep sense of happiness, which is what she's talking about. Other rules to happiness, I guess these like the runner-ups that didn't make it onto the top 5. Feeling loved, right? It's a very natural part of life. A person has a need to feel loved, to understand that. respect that need, not to hide from it. Number two, don't compare yourself to others. I'm very much in line with all of this. If I'm not expecting to be like that person, if I'm expecting to have the life that other person has, or just because she got engaged and married and had kids, right away, so then I'm expecting that for me. No, I'm on my own journey, and I'll find happiness when I realize that it's my life that I'm living and not trying to live to be other people. Don't jump to conclusions. Right? Just being dam the schus in the world, not assuming the worst of people and of situations. Right? Take things at face value, take things as they are, not judging situations and negative, conclusions from things that don't have to be that way. And do something to make yourself useful, because otherwise you can feel inadequate. Again, that idea of chesed, of being there for other people, of being somebody who other people can rely on, even though she says, right, I don't expect to rely on others, but I want to be that person that other people can rely on. I want to be that person that other people can expect that I'm going to smile when I see them and be warm to them and welcome them. Do something to make yourself useful. Those are rules for happiness.
Wait, why didn't you write the fifth one?
Well, you can ask after. 5 things that motivate me. Okay, the other paper that she had, 5 things that motivate me. Number 1, being told I inspired someone, knowing someone looks up to me. So this is quite incredible in retrospect, because like I said, after she passed away, there were thousands of people around the world that were affected by this. People who knew her, or people who knew her. There was a whole website set up where people were listing the mitzvos and the chasadim and the tzedakah and the tfilos that they were given chizuk for by the learning about Daniella and who she was. It was going for years. Maybe it is even still going. It was a website that was logging all of these things, and she ended up being a person that inspired thousands of people. Number 2, remembering that my goals are attainable because others before me have made it through harder and further distances than my own. That's something we can learn from other people, right? What other people have been able to get through, what other people have been able to deal with and handle, right? That is something I can look at other people and gain from them, and yes, be motivated by it. Not that I'm expecting to have the same life as that person, but to be motivated and inspired by what other people have gone through and conquered. Number 3, knowing that Hashem is highly anticipating each right choice I make to get closer to Him. Right? This leads back to that Bishvili Nivra Ha'olam idea that she mentioned, right? But this is extremely motivating to realize Hashem wants my mitzvos. Hashem is watching me carefully, waiting for me to make my next move in order to do good and to help people and to get closer to Him. Number 4, seeing people around me passionate about a certain mitzvah, like davening mincha, davening out loud, right? A person seeing other people, again, who are motivated and excited about the Torah, excited about their mitzvos, that gave Daniella motivation. And finally, number 5, which is really the most shocking of all of them in retrospect, knowing there is a deadline to life and for reports to be due. It's incredible. Like I said, she was an accountant and working on getting a report in, so there's a deadline. I gotta get this paper in by that deadline, but the way she says it, to life and for reports to be due, right? And obviously when she wrote this, she had no idea when her deadline was actually going to be and how little time she had. But you see, she motivated herself to get the most out of life, to do the most that she could, to be as impactful as she could on others, on herself. Right? This is the type of life that she lived. Every year I've inspired myself by sharing these ideas. Just before I introduce Rabbi Nissel, I just want to leave you with one idea or one thing to look further into. But you may have noticed over the course of the year that the Beis Medrash is the Daniella Lee Casper Beis Medrash. And her parents, Leilui Nishmasa, when we moved into this new building, so the Beis Medrash didn't look like it does today. It was a bomb shelter, and it looked much more like a bomb shelter would. But her parents dedicated the reconstruction of the Beis Medrash. So both in terms of the actual construction that was done, and the lighting, and the walls, and the floor, as well as all the svarim. They donated thousands and thousands of dollars in svarim, And if you look inside, you'll see, just about every one has a sticker, right? That's Ilui Nishmas Daniella. So the learning that you do in the Beis Medrash and the learning that you do from those svarim that are in the Beis Medrash, all of that is a zechus and Ilui Nishmas to Daniella. And finally, I don't know if any of you have really paid attention to this or noticed this over the course of the year, but in the Beis Medrash, on one of the support posts that's there's a little pinkish purple photo book that's connected to the wall. In Daniella's year here, so my family, the Rosensteins, we used to live here in Sanhedrin Morchavet, at the top of the hill, building 103. And Daniella did chesed by us. It's been a few years since we've had a student do chesed, because our kids, Baruch Hashem, they're older, but back then we had 3 kids, little kids at the time, my son and 2 daughters, and Daniella came to us every Tuesday. That was her place for chesed. Mrs. Walder was Shanabet. Mrs. Walder did cooking by us on Thursdays, right? And Daniella was Shanal, so she did chesed by us every Tuesday. She'd take the kids to the park. She would, hang out with them, help at home. And I don't know if I've ever heard of any other student doing this, not before or not after. I mean, maybe I just, I don't know what every student does at the end of the year, but at the end of her year, totally unprompted, this was her own thing to do. She gave us a photo book. She gave us that little booklet in there with old-fashioned pictures before digital cameras and all of those phones and all those things. And she gave us a whole picture book over the year. The little kids in that book are, my kids when they were smaller. There's a cameo appearance of Mrs. Walder. You can find her there in those pictures. But it was such a sweet, such a thoughtful thing. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's ever done it before or since. I don't, certainly no one else who did chesed by us. But just such a thoughtful thing to do, to leave us with those memories, to leave us with a close connection. Like I said, we kept the connection with her for years after, all the way until she passed away. But I would encourage you to look at that, take a look, and see, what a person exactly in your stage of life, exactly in the same position that you guys are in right now, how she lived, and be inspired by her. Think about these ideas that she left for us, what brings a person to happiness, what brings a person motivation in their avodas Hashem. And Mirz Hashem, by next year, we shouldn't have to do this anymore. Mashiach should be here, Yos HaMesim should be here, and we should celebrate next year together with Daniella in person. It's a very, very special zchus for us to have Rabbi Nissel join us. As I said, it's for a number of years in the past, Rabbi Nissel has spoken at Daniella's Yahrtzeit. Rabbi Nissel, somebody who, even before Devorah opened, we told you on Shabbos, right, that whole story that I was in Chicago, or Fix was here, and when we had the idea, I flew into Israel to meet with all different people to discuss the idea and the necessity for a seminary, and Rabbi Nissel was one of those people. Rabbi Nissel happened to be my Rebbe in OJ and Night Seder. My Night Seder Rebbe, I think Shana Bet, right? Not Shana, I think Shana Bet. Rabbi Nissel was my Night Seder Rebbe, and a person that obviously I've known for decades at this point. And it's a very special zchus for us to call Rabbi Nissel up to address.
Okay, so this is very exciting. Every so often I get introduced and remind myself how old I am. This is what, been 30 years?
The school's open 20 years, but since the recording time is
More than 30 years. Okay, so yeah, this is very exciting. I just wanted to say that this is one of the highlights of my year. It really is a tremendous comment. I probably know a whole bunch of you. I for sure know a lot of your friends. And Talmud Devorah is well known as being one of the supreme, incredible seminaries here on this planet. And you guys are what make it happen. These are your teachers, these are your amazing Rebbeim. And for me to teach here is just an incredible, sublime honor and zchus. So thank you very much for always thinking of me. Specifically to talk in what's called a Yahrtzeit Shiur. And if you realize how special the concept of a Yahrtzeit Shiur is, we believe with a complete belief that essentially man is immortal. We have a neshama, the neshama never dies. And just like the Rav just mentioned, Rabbi Rosie just mentioned, we're going to be reconnected to all those that are seemingly not here with us at the moment. And we keep ourselves alive after what we call death with Torah, Avoda, and Gemilas Chasadim. Those are the three things that are infinite. And Torah is what we're doing now. With Torah, a person lives on. And with Torah, we keep alive a person. Doesn't matter where they are in the higher realms. That's the power of Torah. Avoda, that's essentially Kaddish. I'm assuming someone's saying Kaddish today. And Gemilas Chasadim. So here specifically in the case of Daniella, I had the chus to speak at the first Yahrtzeit, and also spoke in Los Angeles. So everything about her is that she was a young lady of chesed. Okay, she was always thinking about everybody else, and this is what your teachers teach you over here. And we can take the inspiration that she gave us when she was alive and how she was constantly doing chesed and thinking of everyone else, and continue it. Each one of you in your own special sweet way is going to be a bastion of chesed and continue the legacy of Danielle. And that way, we keep her alive until we are united with Tchias HaMesim. Ez Hashem b'mher v'yameinu. Which brings me to today's topic. I literally decided, driving up here, speaking to Mrs. Lichtman, what should I speak about? And I decided that I don't think I've ever had a chance to give my Mashiach class here. My iconic Mashiach class. As some of you are smiling, that means you've heard it before. And so I figured, whatever it is, it's a little entertaining. I'm just warning you now. And just before I begin the class, I just want to give the class context. We all talk about Mashiach. Mashiach is the bridge between Olam Hazeh and Tchias HaMesim when everybody comes back. But a lot of people, when we talk about Mashiach, how should we say this nicely? Mashiach has issues. Okay, Mashiach comes with a package. Basically, I've identified three problems that Mashiach has. One is what I call the Mashiach-phobic, the people who are terrified of Mashiach coming. I don't believe that Talmud Devorah suffer from this, but you all know that out there are young ladies your age that are afraid of him coming. I spoke in a Beis Yaakov 2 years ago, and after I finished speaking and giving this class, a mom called me up and said, "Thank you, Rabbi Nissel. My daughter no longer needs therapy." True story. I'll tell you after which Beis Yaakov it was. Okay, make your mental note not to take girls from there. She literally, I don't know if you know this, but there are some Beis Yaakovs that, anyone heard of the Harry Potter series? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So at the end of Harry Potter, we find out what happened to Harry and Ron, all the shidduchim and all the hak and what goes on. But they never tell us what happened to the Dementors. Think about that. J.K. Rowling's never told us what happened to the Dementors. I'll tell you what happened. A lot of them found employment working for the Beis Yaakov system. Okay, so just to give you the example, this half-human, half-demented Beis Yaakov teacher actually told a young girl in this Beis Yaakov, Mashiach is not going to come for the likes of you. Okay, this is what he told her. And basically said, I don't know what it was, she had some kind of a tznius issue, whatever it may be, and this poor girl was terrified. The Mashiach would not come for people like her. And this is something that needs to be fixed. And in this room, you're going to see that anyone who has a suffix about what Mashiach's going to be like, I'm actually, by the way, I'm actually canceled in one Beis Yaakov in Lakewood for giving my Mashiach class, and they told me, Rabbi Nissel, the girls loved it, but we, the Tzevet, do not like your class because you make Mashiach sound fun. Okay, apparently you're not allowed to do that, but you made Mashiach actually sound exciting. So this is, people are Mashiach-phobic. Some people are Mashiach-phobic, which I actually get, because they want their lives to be, in Hebrew we say Mesudar. How do we say Mesudar in English?
In order.
Everything has to be, people like to know, what am I doing this summer? Where am I going next year? People like to think that they have their lives figured out. And when Mashiach comes, they identify Mashiach with what's called a balagan. A balagan means everything's going to be insane. Everything's going to be totally chaos. So there's the Mashiach-phobics. Then there's the Mashiach fanatics. Mashiach fanatics have their own set of problems. Let me say right up front, The Rambam, Maimonides, says the following statements. Ani ma'amin b'emunah shalema that achakale b'chol yom sheyavo. Mashiach's going to come. There's no question he can come today. There's no problem Mashiach can come this moment as I'm speaking. What we believe in, the Mashiach can come at any given moment. What we do not believe in is that we can say that we know for a fact that Mashiach's going to come. That is something that's a huge mistake. And 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember anymore, when was Corona? Do you guys remember Corona?
2020.
Remember the Corona days? How long ago was that?
2025.
Whatever it was, in the first Pesach of Corona, I was teaching in a school down the road called Schaffman's, and a girl comes up to me and says to me, Rabbi Nissel, Mashiach is coming for sure this Pesach. You remember that miserable Pesach when we were all at home? And I said, I know with 100% clarity that Mashiach is not coming this Pesach. And my wife got mad at me. How can you say such a thing? And I answered, I learned it from Rabbi Kamenetsky. Because when he was living in Toronto, and a certain rabbi went up to a certain man who did not keep Shabbos and said to him, if you keep Shabbos, Mashiach is coming this year. Rabbi Kamenetsky says Mashiach is not coming this year. And his Rebbitzin said, how can you say such a thing? And he answered with the following words. He said, if Mashiach comes this year, no one's going to remember that I said he wasn't going to come. But if he doesn't, it will create a dent in this guy's emunah, and he may never keep Shabbos. And therefore, it is important to remember, okay, Mashiach fanatics, step back, calm down, and say Mashiach could come today. Okay? And imamin b'emunah shneim, he can come at any given moment. Thirdly and finally, there are people who maybe I'm in this category called Mashiach skeptics. Mashiach skeptics are a little bit cynical, and it could be that some wife will say to her husband, honey, when are you going to fix the light bulb? You're going to wait for Mashiach to come? Think about those words. That means you're saying, yeah, sure. We've been waiting 2,000 years. We'll probably wait another 2,000 years. Señoritas, this is not good. We do not talk that way. We have to get back what's called Tzipir Yeshua, the Emunah Shalema, the complete belief that Mashiach can come today with absolute clarity. Now listen, some of you are aware that I'm a Talmid of a man called Rabbi Moshe Shapiro. If you want, Rabbi Rosenstein can give you a copy of the book I wrote last year, which has 26 chapters of his big ideas about life, including stories. And there is the Mashiach chapter there as well. And Rabbi Shapiro told me, when I asked him, is it okay to give a class? This class is Menachem Nissel's fantasy of what it's going to be like when Mashiach comes. Basically, what I'm about to do with you is the following thing. I went through every single source I could find describing Mashiach. I took whatever, for me, makes it real, makes it accessible. So, for example, the third Beis Hamikdash is not going to come down like a Star Trek. It's not going to come down. It's going to come down because we are going to build it. That's the opinion of the Rambam, not like Rashi. So I'm going to go with opinions that makes Mashiach relatable. However, Rabbi Shapiro said to me, if you want to give this class, it's got to be that when your students, which is you people today, this is you, that your students, when they say in the Shemona Esrei, the biggest lie that you and I say every day, I don't mean to be rude, because, you guys don't even know me, and I'm coming to Tomer Devorah girls, bunch of liars. Yeah, you're a bunch of liars, because this morning, when you davened Shachris, you said the words, Ki, Lishuascha, Kivinu, what's the next words? Kol Hayom, translate. We're waiting for Mashiach, Kol Hayom, translate?
All day.
All day, is that true?
No.
Oh my gosh, what's your name, please?
Sorry.
Sari is publicly admitting that she's a liar. Okay, but really I could have picked up anyone in this room, probably including myself. By the way, the translation of Kol Hayom means that it is central to my existence. That's what it really means. So anyhow, don't worry about it. Kol Hayom means that when next week I'm going to be in Los Angeles, I'm starting a road trip, and my wife is extremely important for me. So I always think about it wherever I go. I see a beautiful sunset, Venice Beach, and I'll say, I wish my wife was here. I see a shopping mall with sales. I say to myself, thank God my wife's not here. Wherever I go, okay? So people that are important for you, that's Kol Hayom. Mashiach has to be central to your existence. That is what I want to achieve in the next half hour. And I want to say one more thing, and with this, I end my introduction. Ladies, this is a public service announcement. Can everyone see me over there? Whoa, there are people here as well. Okay, I have to remember to move left and right. I want to make the following public service announcements. Any young lady in this room that wants to make me really, really happy and make my life worthwhile, after this class, I want you to go to your sitter and look at the words, Ki l'shuaska kivina kol hayom. It's in the middle of the Shemona essay, towards the end, and underline it. And say to yourself, when I read these words, I'm going to remember what Rabbi Menachem Nissel told me, that's me. And have real kivui. I want to wait really long for Mashiach to come. I want to say to myself, the world that we live now is crazy. It's untenable. It's not a normal universe. Anti-Semitism is exploding. The tsaros of every single girl in this room. Each one of you has in your own backyard tsaros, sad stories to share. It's got to come to an end. We need that the Kiddush Hashem of Mashiach is going to bring to this world. We need this right now. So I'm asking you, simple request, Ki l'shuas kevina kol hayom, make it real by underlining it in your siddur after this class. And next time you meet me, you'll see me somewhere. You see Rabbi Nissel, I did it. You show me your siddur, and I will be the happiest rabbi on the planet. Can we do this, ladies?
Yes.
Can I begin my class?
Yes.
It was a beautiful Wednesday morning in Sanhedrin Rechevet. Well, not exactly beautiful. If you don't like rain, it's miserable outside. But the bottom line is, it's beautiful because Hashem's rain means Hashem is happy with us. And the Talmud Devorah girls were doing their thing, some of you are looking extremely exhausted. What do they do to you here? Or maybe it's just the food. But the bottom line is, it's a beautiful day, and suddenly out of nowhere, Rabbi Rosenstein, who had just slipped out just now, suddenly slips back in with a big smile, looking unusually harried. And he says, ladies, I have to make an announcement. And everyone's wondering, what could he possibly be announcing right now? Is there going to be like some new draconian rule that he's about to introduce? No. He said, I just stepped out of Rabbi Nissel's class, and I just got these phone calls from my teachers, from my Rabbim, and everyone is telling me the following one thing. And he screams out on the top of his voice, Mashiach is actually here. So how do you guys respond? Color war breakout, woohoo, again, this is so much fun. But then, all your phones that you're secretly hiding as I speak, suddenly start vibrating and ringing, and you suddenly realize that all your friends, and everyone you know, and all your parents and your cousins and your ex-boyfriends, they're all trying to get hold of you, and say to you the following words, yeah, this is real, see what's going on. And then you find out that every single news station in the world is talking about the following. There has been a huge meeting of all the great rabbis in Jerusalem, and they have announced that they met a man, and his man is absolutely without question the Melech HaMashiach, the Jewish Messiah, and they are asking every single Jew on the planet to try and get on a plane so that this time next week, this time next Wednesday, just before Tu B'Shvat, every single Jew should be in Yerushalayim HaKodesh to greet the Melech HaMashiach. Okay, so you guys think this is crazy. I mean, this is like the BBC, CNN, MNY, all the news stations, they're all talking about this, and you're trying to figure out, is this real? But one thing you got to know about the Jewish people, and that is the following. Jews love to party. That's it. Especially since Yerushalayim is offering free food, and everyone figures out, you know what, let's do it. Before we know it, anyone, anywhere who's Jewish is trying to get on a plane to make it to Yerushalayim to be able to greet Mashiach next Wednesday. What is happening is insane. Suddenly, out of nowhere, there are planes landing in Ben Gurion Airport from every corner of the world. It's not just, America. It's not just your hometown. The Canadians are coming with their maple syrup. You're talking about, that's it, South America, Copacabana, we want Mashiach, everyone's coming. See, the Africans are coming with their biltong. We don't have South Africans here, do we? Where are they? Where are my Africans? Where are my little Africans? There we go. Australians, this is my friend Bruce, this is my friend Sheila, nice to meet you, nice. Melbourne, going over here. All over Europe, the British, I'm actually English. They say, what? Anybody from Mashiach? The French. The fromage, le Mashiach. The Germans are coming, ein, zwei, we go to see the Mashiach. Italiano, it's so nice to see you, Mashiach with the pizza. The Russians come. The Russians come with the mafia connections. What is happening? The whole Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv road is like crawling along. And as you arrive in Yerushalayim Irakedesh, you see these guys called Sadranim. A Sadran is appointed by the Jerusalem municipality. And they are given the job to make sure everyone is in exactly the right place. Secretly, you and I know these guys are yeshiva dropouts. Some of them may even be your brothers. Anyhow, but the point is that these guys are doing a phenomenal job. And they basically tell you, Devorah, I want you to be with your seminary. The procession is going down Rehov Yafo. Don't worry, it's okay. Rabbi Rosenstein allows. Corner of King George on the women's side. And then they give you a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper it says, these are the 5 blessings that you should say when you see the Melech HaMashiach. Okay, let's see what Talmud Devorah's got. Who wants to tell me what's on that piece of paper? The 5 blessings. Sorry, I'm not going to pick on you anymore.
Thank you.
I'm going to pick on other people. Who is going to tell me what blessings do you see on this piece of paper that you have to say when you see the Melech HaMashiach? Go for it. Whoa, you're cheating. She's cheating. I also have one in my pocket.
Yeah.
Now you can't do that. You can't play. I'm proud of you, though. I'm very proud of you. It's beautiful. What's your name, please?
Sarah.
Sarah. Is this like a thing here?
Yeah, there's a lot of Sarahs.
Sarah over here has, let me just show this to everyone. Actually has this little handy little thing. Oh, this is so insanely cool. Okay, very impressed. Anybody else want to say? People using your own thoughts. Yes, please.
God yourself.
Okay, so this is incredible. This is absolutely amazing, because a lot of people forget the most obvious of all the blessings. Okay, it's like the proverbial elephant in the room. And I'm not talking about your mother-in-law. I'm talking about the idea is that you have is. Thank you very much. Name, please.
Nechama.
What?
Nechama.
Nechami. We have a non-Sarah over here. Okay. Nechami correctly points out. She says the following. She says the 5th and final blessing is the blessing on the redemption itself. What else? Yes, please. There we go. Shechianu, V'kiyamanu. Can you think of a more appropriate time to say, thank you, Hashem, for being here at this moment? What else? Well, that happens at the end of the story. Mashiach, the Tchias HaMesim happens at the very, very end. Mashiach's job is to bring the world from Olam Hazeh to that moment called Tchias HaMesim, as we shall see in a moment.
Do we say bracha on it though?
Tchias HaMesim is going to be said when it happens. I assume we're going to make that bracha, but that could be a long time later. Let me give you a clue. What type of person is Mashiach?
King.
A king. He's also a big Talmid Chacham. So on a Jewish king, which is a bracha we have not made for over 2,000 years, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, shechalak michvaydai li'arev, who's given from his honor, his glory to those that fear him. For a great Talmid Chacham, which you can make today when you go to Bnei Brak and you see Moshe Hillel Hirsch, one of our Gdolim, or Dov Landau, you say Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, shechalak michachmasai li'arev. Now, the one bracha that normally you don't get, so I'm just going to tell you, I'll give you a clue. It's nothing to do with Mashiach, to do with seeing all of Klal Yisrael. Who knows where I'm going with this? Perfect. Name?
Sarah.
No, this is a joke. You guys are already pranking me. You guys are pranking me. Okay. Number 3 in a series of sorrows over here is wow. Wow, this is really, this is borderline creeping me out. Wow, okay, so another Sarah, correctly, where are you from? Sarah from, there we go, Sarah from Sake. And you are Sari from?
Muncie.
Sari from Muncie. And where was the other one? Sarah from?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Sarah from Sake correctly says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, Chacham harazim, the wise man of secrets. Let me give you some background to this bracha so that when you say it for the first time, you say it with kavan. I actually said it at the Levaya for Rabbi Yosef, but let's just keep going. For most of you, it's going to be the first time you say it. 600,000 Jews in one place. What does it mean? The wise one, that's God. Harazim knows the secret. What secret does God know? He knows the secret of what makes each one of you special. I don't know if you ever noticed you, but the day that you were born was the day that God decided the world cannot exist without you. Without you and you and you and you and you. Each one of you is unique and special. You want me to prove it? Look in the mirror. There'll never be another you. No one else ever has or will look like you. Look at the girl next to you. Notice she looks different from you. Secretly you're thinking, thank God. The reason why she looks different from you is because Hashem is whispering, she has her story to tell, and you have your story to tell. Chacham Razim is God sees 600,000 unique primary souls, each one with its own story. Okay, now I won't be able to take questions because I know I'm going to run out of time very, very quick, and we're just getting into the fun part. So here we are in Yerushalayim, Yer HaKodesh, and we are watching this incredible ceremony. This is so cool. The first thing we see is a bunch of Yerushalmi kids are walking down Yechav Yafo singing Yamim al Yamei Melech. And you'll notice that one of them looks like Rabbi Menachem Nissel, but like a teeny, unbearded version, like an 11-year-old version. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, who is that kid? He looks like Rabbi Nissel. And it'll be my grandson Shlomi. Yeah, I'm going to put him in, okay? He's going to be belting the blues out there, singing the Mashiach song. And these people are going to go by. You guys are going to be taking pictures. It's going to be so beautiful, so much fun. Everyone who is anyone is that. You are literally seeing the whole world. Then the next procession is that of the Gedolim. When I say the Gedolim, I mean all the Gedolim, Ki'ish Echad, B'Lev Echad, linking arms from all the different types of Klal Yisrael. And you have never seen something so beautiful in your life. This is their faces are glowing. You see the holiness. You see how happy they are. And they go past too. Okay. Now, what happens next is that in the distance, you see what looks like a bright light. Now, I'm going to try not to cry when I say this next part of the story, because I get very emotional about this. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to see this bright light. And as the bright light gets closer, you're going to realize it's not a bright light. It's a face shining. And it's a man, a human being, flesh and blood, a man who is riding on a simple donkey. And when you see this, the first thing is that, what? 2025 donkeys? This is not Shrek. What's happening here? And then you realize that you are a Talmud Devorah girl, and you are students of Rabbi Rosenstein. And you know that the Maral of Prague, in every single book of his, almost every 20, 30 pages, talks about donkeys. And tells you the Hebrew word for donkey is? Chamor. Okay? Chamor comes from the word chomer, which means physicality. Riding on a donkey means that I am in control of my physical world. It's a crazy thing. I'm gonna give a little bit, I'm very embarrassed to tell you this. I have in my pocket a donkey. It's called my smartphone. Just for those of you, the staff members, it's kosher, all right? Okay, it's kosher. It's got like hadron, the whole thing over there. It's my smartphone. I have a constant battle with my smartphone. Who's more powerful, it or me? And all of you in this room know about the struggle. Who's more powerful? Mashiach comes, this will be the servant, this will be the chamor, and we will be the tzura. We will be the one that controls it and uses it only for its tachlis. The first person to ride on a donkey was Avram Avinu the Akedah. He, on a personal level, conquered the physical world. Moshe Rabbeinu did it for Klal Yisrael. at Har Sinai, and he too came with a donkey. Moshiach is going to do this for the whole world. And the Medrash, Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, says spookily, don't ask me what this means, it's all the same donkey. Bottom line is, you see this man coming closer. And as he comes closer, your heart starts to go boom-pity, boom-pity, boom. You don't know what to do with yourself. For the first time in your life, you're looking at a person that makes no sense. You have never, ever felt so much contradictory emotions in one man. On the one hand, this man instantly commands respect, kavod. In Hebrew, yiras haromus. His face is shiny, like you're looking at Moshe Rabbeinu's face underneath his mask, because his neshama is so powerful, it's like bursting through his skin. It's such a person you want to step back, and you want to, no one has to tell you to speak to him in the third person. This is somebody elevated, somebody royal, and you want to move back. At the same time, you have never seen a person with so much human beauty who exudes love for every single Jew. It is so obvious to you instantly that he loves you. Actually, he loves the lowest of the lowest Jew more than you and I could love the most gorgeous child or the most beautiful tzaddik. And then you see his eyes. Eyes talk. Right? Eyes have the ability to communicate. His eyes are pure, loving eyes. Pure, accepting, non-judgmental eyes. And then finally, you realize how it was that when Mashiach was seen by the Tzaddik Hadar, the leaders of our generation, like Moshe Rabbeinu and Parsha Shmos, they all knew this is our man. Everything fell into place. You take out your piece of paper, you say, Shechianu v'kimanu v'giyanu l'zman hazeh, the bracha for a king, the bracha for a big rabbi. You look around and you're so proud to be part of Klal Yisrael. And you say this beautiful bracha, Chacham Arazim. At this point now, everyone is crying. You look around you, you can't hold yourself back. The tears are coming out. But these are not tears of sadness. This is 2,000 years of pent-up frustration, of all the exile and all the pain that we've gone through. It is now finally coming to an end. And with all the kayach you have, you say, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Goal Yisrael. That's it. Finally, the Jewish people have been redeemed. And with that, the procession goes past. And with that, you get a message from those Sadranim. Remember those Chevra Abaita. Before you know it, you're back in this Miklat, this room here. You're back here in the Talmud Devorah Beis HaMedrash. And you ask yourself, was I dreaming? Was this real? It was real. It was absolutely real. You know it. You're not going to believe this, ladies. Irony of ironies. Totally unexpected. The first non-Jewish people to accept the Melech HaMashiach is going to be Islam, the children of Ishmael. This was the last thing you'd expect. They're our biggest enemies today. They're the first to come home to the house of Avraham Avinu. I'm not going to explain to you now, but you can ask your teachers over here. Yishmael and Klal Yisrael are extremely close. In many, many different ways. And they come home, you don't believe what's happening. They're dancing, Mashiach, Mashiach. You see them in Morocco, and in Tunisia, and in Libya, and in Algeria, and you see them in Sudan, and in Egypt, and you see them in Saudi Arabia, and Oman, and you see them in Yemen, and you see them in the Gulf states, and in Kuwait, and you see them in Turkey, and in Lebanon, and in Syria, and in Jordan, and in Iraq, and Iran, and Pakistan, and Indonesia. 1.6 billion Muslims are just screaming for Mashiach. It's crazy. Somewhere in a park bench in Gaza, you see these two old Palestinian boobies. And they're like, showing up pictures of the Einaklach. Ah, my little Ahmed. How they blow up so quickly. Maybe one day they'll be able to serve the Melech HaMashiach. Here in Talmud Devorah, in the kitchen, they're getting phone calls that goes like this. Hello, this is Ahmed Jibril. I am from Gaza. I want to work in kitchen for Talmud Devorah. What is going on over here? Everyone wants to help Jews. This is the new in thing. Islam is the first to come home. So let me ask you, and you don't have to be called Sarah to answer. Is it correct to say that the good times are coming? Is that right?
Yeah.
Not so simple. Unfortunately, we have bad news to share. Hello, people over there. I just wanted to say hi. Anyhow, okay. Oh my gosh, I'm waking people up. Sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, you appear on both sides. There we go. Hello. Okay, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Now listen to me. The next day, you start to hear from your folks back home. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism in America, where are you from? South Africa, Australia, wherever you're from, Brits, where are you? Okay, we'll talk afterwards. I'm from Golders Green. Okay, Dublin Hendon Adas. What's your surname?
Wanda.
I know who you are. We'll talk after. Okay. Okay. I may have a boy for you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Listen to me, ladies. Suddenly there's a huge spike in anti-Semitism. Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? Because Yishmael is different from Esav. Esav has been running the world for thousands of years. They are not about to give up without a fight. Esav, who invented the cross, which means that there's a line that says above that, God can do what he wants, but down here, we're in charge. They're not going to give up without a fight. The next day, you wake up to your deepest, darkest nightmare. It's insane. It's insane. There's been a military coup in the United States of America. Anti-Semitic generals have taken over the country. There are tanks in Washington, D.C. Congress, Senate is being disbanded, and Trump is sent back to his tower. Or maybe just to join Biden in an old age home. With complimentary slippers. They now have a new leader. The new leader, his name is George Gogologopoulos. No one can pronounce his name. They call him Gog for short. And Gog gets up and says, who's with me? I want to form the Magog coalition. In England there's a revolution. In France there's a revolution. In Germany there's a revolution. Russia does not need the revolution. Putin is in. Even in Canada, they are going to send lumberjacks and free maple syrup to the Magog coalition. This is getting really scary, ladies. Millions and millions of volunteers. And Gog says, we're not going to be wimpy. We are not going to be wimpy like Hitler, Yamach Shemo. We're not going to be wimpy and make gas, whatever it's called, and make concentration camp. We're just going to kill and kill and kill and kill. And we're going to hang this Mashiach guy from the public square. So now, go hiding behind it. What's your name again? Sarah, number 6, 4, right? Yeah.
Biggie.
Whoa. You're really a Sarah, right? Faggy from where?
Staten Island.
Faggy from Staten Island. Do you have any, mafia connections?
Yeah, my parents are Russian.
Oh, you look You went to Berea?
No. Mayan.
Mayan. Okay. Wow, a lot of traveling. Wow, okay. Faggy from Staten Island. Will you or will you not be scared? When you hear that the Magog armies are coming towards Yerushalayim, are you going to be scared?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Okay. She thinks that, I should not, I'm sorry, Faggy, I'm sorry I picked that. I should remember my rule. If she's behind a huge big thing, it's for a reason. I apologize. Okay. Sorry, I embarrass you publicly. Listen to me, Faggy. You're 100% correct. You're not going to be scared. I'm going to explain to you why you're right. Because you're going to hear from me now exactly what's going to happen. The next day, the head of the Israeli army, the head of Tzahal, is going to go to Melech Mashiach, Kvod Arav, Tzahal B'Shutcha. You can do what you want. Mashiach says, let's be honest. The IDF, you've been stuck now in the butts of Gaza for 1.5 years, and you haven't succeeded. How long will you last against Gog and the Magog coalition? Yeah, maybe 20 minutes. So then he has a look at that. Why should we lose soldiers? I'll take care of this myself. She says, how? The Baya Sheli, I'll figure this out. Next day, Mashiach goes to the Mir Yeshiva. You are literally walking distance. The Mir Yeshiva. Where's Rabbi Finkel? Rabbi Finkel comes out. What can I do? He says, I need your top 10 guys. He says, what for? I need fighters. Now at this point now, the Rosh Yeshiva basically collapses in laughter. He says, my top 10 guys are pathetic, feeble, weedy, that's it. They can't even grow beards. They're like apathy. Like it's like nothing. There's no way. He says, those are the guys I want. The ones that are thinking in Torah 24/7. Then he goes to Ponevezh, and then to Brisk, and then he goes to the Hasidic places, and he goes to the Spartan. And then I also want to point out, he also goes to some of the yeshivas that people think are just like, not such places, but Mashiach knows how to pick the real deal. There are people who people don't realize are really, really special in the regular, unregular yeshivas. But before we know it, Mashiach has 300 men, and he gives them rifles. Most of them are holding them in the wrong direction. Mashiach says, wake up everybody. Okay, stop thinking in Gemara, stop thinking in Torah. I want you to focus. I'm going to teach you how to use a gun. Before we know it, Magog is crushed. Gog is dead. It's over with. In Rome, the Pope gets up in front of millions of adoring Catholics, together with his friend Justin Bieber, and says, I'm taking off my red kippah, I'm putting on a black kippah, and I'm going to ask my little Justin to teach you the Shema. Because this whole go-go-mago thing, this whole Christianity thing, we were just joking. And now, the good times are going to happen. This is it. So Fagi was right. The good times are about to roll. Because now, very, very fast, the world is changing because the world now wants one thing and one thing only. Omole haaretz de'es Hashem. The world wants nothing more than Torah knowledge. But before that, some of your moms and dads are getting phone calls from what's called the Third Beis Hamikdash Project. And they're being asked to help build this incredible edifice. And basically, it's not going to just be the most beautiful building by far that the world has ever seen. It's going to be state of the art. So you guys, you messed up Gen Z generation will have the Mashiach app. But us old folks, we still have to dial 1-800 Beis Hamikdash and get an answering machine that goes like this. Hello, you have reached the Beis Hamikdash. If you want to bring an Ola, press 1. If you want to bring a Shlamim, press 2. If you want to bring a Chatas, naughty, naughty. You want to accuse your wife of being a sultan. I'm just kidding. Okay. All of these things are actually happening. This is the new world that we're living in. This is so exciting. Everyone wants to study Torah. Everyone wants to become the best person they can be. So, suddenly out of nowhere, some of you are getting, the lady with the yawn. What's your name, please? It's not Sarah. It's Sarah Batya. This is not normal. How do you guys do registration? I mean, seriously. Sarah Batya is from where? Toronto. I was there 3 weeks ago. I've probably spoken to school because I've spoken all 3. What? It's actually, besides the weather, it's like minus 35. But the place itself is amazing. What can I tell you? Which school did you go to? Very nice. I spoke there, I did a whole program there.
Really?
Yeah, I sure did. Listen to me. Sarah Batya. Okay? You are going to get a little letter from Mashiach's office. We want you to come right now. Mashiach needs to speak to you urgently. Poor Sarah Batya, who lives in Devorah in Toronto, says, what on earth is going on? She flies, she arrives in Yerushalayim. She knocks on this little house where it says Mashiach's home, and guess who answers the door? What?
Mashiach.
Yes. Genius. Most people, thank you very much. Okay, most people do not realize that. Okay, I'm so proud of you. Most people don't realize Mashiach's married because unfortunately, so many of us think Christian. You know, they think Mashiach is like, coming up a no. Mashiach, this is him on a rubber cross, get it? Okay? And whatever, just kidding. Listen to me, ladies. Yeah, what's your name, please? What's your name?
Sarah.
Okay, we're changing officially the name of the school to Thomas Sarah. Okay? This is it. So Sarah Shandy over here. She correctly points out Mashiach's married. Of course he's married. He's got a family. This is what we do. This is how Klal Yisrael rolls. So luckily for my friend Sarah Batya, okay, from Toronto, she comes in. Just as she comes in, Mashiach's wife says, "You're lucky. This is your moment. I just finished baking. What's your favorite cookies?" Chocolate chip. With crunch on the outside, soft and chewy in the middle. It smells great. So she immediately calms down. I just want to tell you about Mashiach's wife. She is just as great as Mashiach. It's always that way. They are partners. It's just that, like Sarah's behind Avram Avinu. Sorry, I did not go to Talmud Devorah. It's doing a shakir. Thank you. Exactly the same way, Mashiach's Rebbetzin, she's great, but she also knows how to make everyone feel comfortable. So Sarah Batya calms down, and then she's taken in. She's taking in, and Mashiach says, Sarah Batya, Shalom Aleichem, welcome. So happy to have you over here. You have no idea how many phone calls, how many letters I'm getting from Toronto. Young women your age, seriously, I spoke for NCSY. Over there, there's thousands and thousands of young women your age that want to learn Torah. You have to stop your life, put everything on hold, and go back and become a teacher, Sarah Rabbi. We need you. This is Mashiach pleading with you. And she's going to say, who am I? I'm just like you're special. You're going to make a great teacher. They're going to want to know how to read and how to daven. And as Sarah Bachi gets up to leave, something incredible happens. Mashiach comes back and says, Sarah Bachi, come back. I need to whisper something into your ear. Says, what's going on? He says, my wife and I, we want to thank you because Hashem told us that after Rabbi Menachem Nissel gave his class and kind of picked on you, after that happened, you'll never guess. Hashem said, she davened a Shemona Esrei. She said the words Kiddush Kivina Kol Yom with so much kavanah. And after that, Hashem said to me, Menachem, that's Mashiach's name, you can go. You can do your thing. Can we have a round of applause for Sarah Batya? For bringing the Melech HaMashiach. And then Sarah Batya gets up for one last time, and this time the Rebbetzin calls her back. I'm sorry, I know you want to leave already. But my wife and I on the side, we did Shidduchim, and we just met this really cool guy from Centers, and we think that this could be a Shidduch. So this is wow, this is an incentive, ladies. Sheikh Sashatchan, so is his wife. Okay, this is let me get back to my story. The world is now starting to change. We're getting to the last part of my story. The world is changing very fast. Rabbi Rosenstein comes in one day and says, ladies, this is a public service announcement. You guys can watch anything you want on the internet, cable TV, zero filters. Everything is Mashiach approved. I think you're excited, right? I can see, okay? Okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Don't get too excited, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. Big is going to go straight to, the nearest cable TV, put it on. Immediately a sensor comes out, realizes that she is actually female. So she goes to Women's Mashiach TV, and there she watches, Megan the gefilte fish. She used to be Megan the Stallion, but she wanted to change her name to sound more Jewish. And she's teaching songs about sneers. This is not normal. And for the older folks, they have Britney Spears, and it's the whole thing is insane. What is happening there? Taylor Swift gets a nose job. She wants to look more Jewish. The whole world is now changing. And this is it, Selena Gomez telling you what to calm down, and and Miley Cyrus is buying flowers for Shabbos. And it's just like, what is happening over here?
So funny.
Your brothers are watching the boys' TV, and they're the rappers. I'm not even going to say his name because he's in prison now. But you can't believe it.
Which one?
Sean Combs, whatever they're doing. And they're rapping Mishnayos. Not normal. This is what's happening now. Everything is from and everything is now approved. And I have to get this right over here. Because I want to tell you about the game show. Oh my God, Shidduch Island. A new Ashish Chayil has now entered the villa. I'm looking for a man in Kola. Black hat, long beard, always in share. And this is what is. But unbeknownst to these 7 young men from Lakewood Yeshiva, from BMG, dropped off in this Caribbean island, there are shadchanim hiding behind the trees, waiting to dance. Oh my gosh, this is insane. The whole world has now become so exciting and so beautiful and so amazing. Adele is singing Shalom Aleichem from the other side, and this is it. And every time that you make a wedding, so out of nowhere, Adam Levine just comes in randomly singing Sugar. What is happening? The world has become a terrific place. Everyone is now filled with learning. Your parents, your mom comes back from the supermarket and says, taste the food, it tastes like Gan Eden. Well, guess what, ladies? The world is turning into Gan Eden. No more wars. The police have nothing left to do except to give speeding tickets to yeshiva bachurim. What is going on? And then, finally, because I have to finish my story, unfortunately. But then, finally, there are people in this room who, like me, unfortunately, when I was your age, I already had experienced tragedy. And we're making the share in memory of a woman that died tragically young. An amazing young lady. And I'm saying to you the following thing. For those of you in this room who can see the thestrals, those in the room that have experienced death, suddenly it feels as if death never happened. As if these people are truly very close. As if death all along was an illusion. Mashiach gets up and says, I want to give my farewell speech. Because the world is so beautiful. And the world is going so fast towards perfection. The world is now going back to the way it was at the beginning of creation. The whole world turns into the Garden of Eden. Gan Eden is not a place on a distant planet. It's right here. We create it through the Melech HaMashiach and our hard work. And Mashiach says, the dead will not come back to life. The dead will reveal themselves. The death all along was nothing more than an illusion. And with those words, he says, Olam Hazeh has come to an end. Welcome to Olam Haba. And with this I finish my story, but not until I've said the following statement. Who is going to be the Sarabati in my story? I want one of you. I want it to be every single one of you, but I want of you to really take it upon yourself. To go to your sitter after I finish speaking, underline and say to yourself, Mashiach's not just a necessity. We cannot breathe. The world is insane. The world is crazy. This is so important for me. And there's no question, and I apologize to anyone I made fun of in the last 45 minutes. Figure we're good, okay? Sorry to all of you. But I want to say to you the following thing. I believe that as girls in this room, you're from the right type to make this happen, to be the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back, that brings the Melech Mashiach. So Mashiach comes, he's going to have to stop off over here to say thank you for what you guys have done. Be'ez Hashem Yisbach. We should all see that when the story happens, when I guarantee you it'll be 1,000,000 times more beautiful than anything I can describe, and we can laugh together and bask in the shining sun of the Melech Mashiach. Thank you for listening. Okay, no, don't clap, I'm not a performing seal. Thank you. Okay, if anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer them. If any, I don't know what should I do about it, not now, but look at the clock. Complimentary, oh my gosh, vegetables. I'm